just trying out a new angle. Who knows? Maybe it'll be worth something. Maybe this video won't even see the light of day. Who knows? Ordered a BedSlide. Now I can attach the bicycle to it and easily stow the bicycle in the bed, and also be able to use the tie down points on there. I don't think it's gonna move around too much, but can use the tie down points to kind of secure it and keep it from shifting around and whatnot. At least that's my mentality to it. We'll see. But I definitely, weather's been beautiful lately, and I've been missing riding the bike. And it'll also be nice to kind of be able to just chuck the bike, back there, and really, any place I am, I can, keep riding gear with me, I don't know how well a helmet would do storing it in a vehicle long term, but we'll see. But can throw the bike in the bed, and say I want to go get somewhere, go take some pictures. I can pull the bike out of the bed of the truck and go pedal over to some place or whatever. So I think that'll work. One of those things. We'll see. But tell you what though, haven't been doing too much VR lately. I mean, I've not that I am tired of VR, because I'm not. I still do very much enjoy VR and all the different things and stuff, but I think I've run into a lot of the stuff that I want to play either isn't, there's nobody on when I want to play, or just various reasons. Like, okay, that was kind of creepy. The person has like a little Chucky doll. You may have seen it when they passed. But they have a little Chucky doll, and I looked, and it looked like a little kid's head hanging out of the car. It's kind of weird. It caught me off guard a little bit. But yeah. So, but back the whole VR thing. I mean, it's just whenever the past few times I've jumped on there, in a good way, but a bad way. But it was so late at night, or at such an odd hour, I guess you could say. It wasn't quite late enough. Like, it was pretty much nobody was on, is what I'm getting at. So, I couldn't. I'm trying to slowly kind of dip myself into liking talking to people on there. So, it's like you'll see a group of people, as soon as you join the room. I may have talked about this, but it was a different room completely. So if I've talked about the other one, if I haven't, then oh well. But no, I jumped into this one, and it was like, as soon as you go in the room, like, they had a little group that was standing right there, and they weren't like aggressive or anything like the other group was. They were just like, when you'd come in and be like, oh hey, come hang out with us or something, kind of like, they were very inviting. And it was like probably a group of like 10 people or so. In those days where I couldn't really other people were sleeping in the house, so couldn't really. Oh hey, I'd had to go outside or something, and it just wasn't gonna work well. So I just kind of waved and walked on by. But that's about the only time I've seen really like kind of that. But it's like, it's funny because like you walk into some of these rooms and it's like talking, and it's like, okay, did y'all just like, hey, let's all get on VR, let's go hang out in here at 6 p.m. or something? Or was it, everybody just kind of jumped on, and it's just like two people were walking around, and then it's like, oh hey, and then someone else, hey, it's like I don't know, and it's like you go in the groups on the little Facebook groups and stuff for get an idea of the group etiquette, but you know, sometimes it's really more just people complaining about the group, like, oh, this group's so annoying, people in there, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, that's not really what I'm looking for about the group. I'm looking for other stuff, but thanks, bye. Kind of like this new camera angle. I'm gonna have to tweak the mount. I think it's all right. We'll see. Trying something different, obviously. That's also kind of, I guess, cool. You get to, you know, it's kind of, I guess, staring out the window kind of view. Maybe it's kind of cool. Probably play with the field of view on that and maybe get something a little cooler too. I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely, and I've done the measurements, and I think the bike should fit on the rack with about an inch or so to spare. I guess the other thing is too, the bike is going to kind of lean on the rack, so I may actually have more space free, because I basically measured the width of the pedals, and obviously I'm going to pop the front wheel off and then, you know, to the side. So it should all work. I'm very optimistic at this point, but I'm thinking everything should work. Obviously, I really won't know 100% until the stuff comes in and I can put it in, throw the bike on it, but I honestly think pulling the bike off of the slide is probably going to be just as much of a difficulty. Pulling it off and popping the front wheel on the bike is going to be about as much difficulty, and maybe a little bit easier than trying to maneuver the bike out of the house and back into the house. Plus, as I mentioned, it kind of also sets me up for, you know, if I happen to go somewhere, you know, or even, you know, purposely going somewhere and to go ride the bike. So there's always that. Because I actually have a friend that very close by where he's building a house. There's a pretty well-known-ish track out there, so that should be pretty cool. You know, to be able to have the bike up there and just, you know, with him and his kids and wife and whatnot. But hey, dude, you want to go take the bikes out, and you know we can just roll. So like I said, I'm really hoping that my idea works, and that, you know, because if not, well, let's just say those bed slides are not cheap, and don't know exactly how that goes trying to ship one of those back. Not that I would, you know, I think regardless, even if it didn't really work out for my given situation, the bed slide, you know, because, you know, there's just a lot of, I would be upset that it didn't work for what I wanted it to do, but I wouldn't be upset. Trying to come up with the right wording. I would be upset that it didn't work, that I put the money into the project and it didn't work for what I wanted it to do. But the end benefit of having the use, I go to the lumber yard and get some building materials, you know, whatever, you know, a thing of nails or screws or concrete or whatever it may be, you know, the ability to just pull out the bed slide, put the stuff on it, slide it back in, and then when you get done or get back to the house, instead of having to, you know, go, you know, especially with bags of cement or stuff like that, you know, having to bump in my ear. You can see the bridge they're building. But instead of having to, you know how it is. If you have a truck, you know what I'm talking about. But instead of dealing with that, I think it will. But I will still be upset that such an expensive purchase didn't work for my end project. Because originally I tossed around the idea of just getting just go ahead and getting the gravel bike, and you know, the narrower bars, it would be able to just slide right into the bed. But kind of got talked out of that idea, and it was like, well, what about one of those BedSlide things? And I'm like, I think they're like really expensive. Yeah, I thought they were about. I was really thinking they were probably closer to like $1,800. Granted, they're still not. It's still are hard pill to swallow, but I started looking at it, and it's like, well, even if I go buying another bike, and all of that stuff, buy another bike, it's kind of one of those, unless I bought just a frame to where I could pull a lot of the stuff off my current bike and throw it onto the new bike, it really just would kind of, looking at bikes, and I'm not trying to spend a crazy amount on a bicycle. I mean, yeah, do I think I would really enjoy one of those nice high-end bikes? Yes. Do I think at my riding skill level and all of that, do I think it's necessary to spend that much on a bike? Not at all. So, with all that being said, I think what I'm after, and everything considered, I think I went with the right decision, because had I bought another bike, and I kind of got distracted, sorry about that, but had I bought another bike, I would have bought the bike, obviously I'd be torn between, do I pretty much part out the bike I currently have and be left with a bike that's unusable because it's missing a bunch of parts? Do I try and find a frame, the wheels, pretty much everything but the suspension, and because I'd go to something lighter, so I'd run a normal fork, just a rigid fork, so it would be, really I'd take the wheels and drivetrain off of my bike, and yeah, I've got wheels and drivetrain, but the wheel and drivetrain on there is not really a high-end drivetrain, so would it even be worth it? And then it's like, I'm going to spend $600 on a bike, so do I want to just spend $1,200 out the gate or $1,300 out the gate? It starts to really kind of become where I can use the bike I currently have, and then even if I got another bike, yes, I do have the bed liner in my truck, a spray-in bed liner, but also, do you want to really drag a bike across, that day in, day out, every time you want to go? So, there's that. So, it kind of just started to, once I measured everything, and everything appears right now to like everything will work out with like 1.25 inches or 1.75 inches spare. Should be good. But, yep. Didn't have food in the vehicle. It needs to be in. Never mind. I wouldn't even go check it out. I guess got like a closeout deal lately of some 510 shoes. And I looked because I was like, I ought to go pass over to Burlington because we have one not far from the house. But I'm like, I ought to go stop over at Burlington and go check out the shoes, see if they have any in my size. But I looked on the website for 510 and the width I would need. So yeah, so I just, not even worth going. And at the end of the day, the price really isn't. I mean, it's a good price, but it's also like, it'd be different. Like I like Merrell brand shoes. So if they had Merrell shoes that are normally $90 really, but we'll say $100, $100, and they got them at Burlington for 40 or 50, then I would go pass over there and see if I could score a pair for 40 or 50 bucks, because at the end of the day, it's 40 or 50 bucks that I'm not spending on shoes that I'd be saving. So yeah, if it was something, but I don't wear 510s, and I'm not even gonna go try and cram my foot in a shoe that they probably won't fit in. So just do what you can do, right? Yep. But I'm really excited about that whole BedSlide thing. Just really crossing my fingers that it works for what I need it to do, because that'll also mean I'll be able to take you all along on bike rides. The only thing I'm kind of concerned with is because I kind of want to be able to use this camera on there, but I may not. I might. I don't know. I have to see. I may have to get it. I may end up getting. No, I don't want to do that. Never mind. I was trying to think of a magnetic mount that these cameras have, and then I'm like, well, I could, get a whole different clip system for the magnetic mount. But I think with doing that, with changing, getting a different cage and all, then I'd have to, switch it out of the little small housings and switch it over to that, and I don't think it's worth it. I got the GoPro that pretty much lasts an entire ride. Obviously, I think it will last an entire ride if I don't start it. If I'm not expecting to get video from when I start my ride till when I stop, and also shooting time lapse. So, but normally I don't want to show like the video from leaving my doorstep kind of thing, so I don't even include that anyway. So usually I just start the recording when I get a little bit away from where I'll be. So anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video here. So thanks for watching. Until next time. Yes. Nobody knew when they wanted to go. Oh well. Till next time.